Sure. Is that working? I think that's doing okay. All right, there's the live marker, so we should be good to go. So, now that I'm actually caught up on trails, I can do my brain will let me go back to doing some Homelab stuff, because there are some things that I am been wanting to do. So it has to relate to a couple things that are going on. Big thing is, let me actually back up a little bit. So in my Homelab, I have 3 nodes in production, and they run all of my Kubernetes workloads. They run the Argo control plane. They run basically everything. I also have a TrueNAS box, and that handles all the storage for basically everything in my lab. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to turn on. Every time I forget something. I forgot to turn on the Stream Deck controller. Alright, now we're live. So what I want to do is there's a lot of maintenance involved in these, right? So like with TrueNAS, if I go to my Vault, doing things like getting updates is potentially a problem. Hello? Okay, let's do this then. There. So things like, yeah, that's, don't worry about that one. That always fails and it always fixes it. So there are things like I run some apps here for being able to do things like send notifications over TrueNAS. The system has updates that I can do. So things like that I need to stay on top of. And ideally, I'd like to do it automatically without having to worry about it. So the way that I would typically do this is through Ansible, but this still requires me to run the scripts every day, every week, every whatever, manually. So what I want to set up is AWX, which is like it's the successor to a project that a long time ago called Tower, Ansible Tower, and basically allows me to connect some I can connect a repository of Ansible scripts, and I can say, hey, run this every day over this thing. So, with that, I need to do a handful of things, because I need to basically set this thing up in my Homelab and get it running. Because I have a handful of tasks that I want to get done. One, all 3 of these nodes need to get have their packages updated, let's say weekly, and then restart if necessary, so that they stay on top of things like security patches, all that kind of stuff. Also need to have one set up for my staging box. So I have did I set it as 20? I did, yeah. So I have 1 node in staging, but it doesn't even have Kubernetes set up yet. So actually I'll do just get that rolling. I also need to want to switch from password to SSH key based authentication because that's something I need to maintain so that I can maintain a list of SSH keys, because I might log in from my laptop, my desktop, and I re-roll these things a lot. So being able to just push a key up and then having it all spread would be ideal. And that's kind of where we're at the moment. So first order of business is getting the AWX operator, which this seems to be the key thing, into my lab so I can start messing with it. So, show you. Because then I can do things like I can, once I have staging up, I can split these sort of apps and things to where I can have my production, instead of pointing at head, point at a specific revision and have staging point at head. I can merge all these pull requests to update versions of things to staging, make sure they're stable, and then move production to the latest version. So first things first, I need to add a new directory in here called AWX. Yeah, just call that AWX. Then there should be an AWX controller manager, and then I can create, I see. And then I can create an AWX. And then I should get that deployment. Okay. So first, I need a... See, here's where this is going to get tricky. Because I really prefer it to be in a Helm chart. AWX operator Helm chart. Okay. That is much more preferable. Which is, yeah, the same operator. That's what I really prefer to do. Because that gives me a lot. It just makes managing it so much easier for the way I have things set up. So let's call this AWX. And this is going to be the Ansible automation platform for server operations. So we're going to pull in the AWX operator from where's the repository? There it is. Weird. But I can pull in AWX operator from here. And I want to know what the latest version of it is. What's the, it's like Helm repo list or something like that, like list charts in Helm repo. I actually want to do Helm repo add that one. Son of a bitch. Why is it so hard to copy out of a session like that? Helm repo add. I'll just copy this whole thing. All right, Helm. Search repo. AWX operator. With the chart version of 2.19.1. Okay. So now I've got that going. Let's see what values this thing has. Doing some of the creation of multi-resource configs. Where is values? Okay, what's the default values? Who wish to install on existing K8s cluster as opposed to... Does it try to bootstrap the cluster for you? How the hell does that work? Yeah, that's just... Okay. So where's the default values file? This is it. Okay. I don't know why it's under. This is a very strange Helm chart setup, but all right. For an external Postgres instance. So I think, do I need to do that? Or does it say stuff about for AWS bundle with the latest version of the operator? Okay, so it'll just create a Postgres for me. That's fine. I'll just take that. Use of AWX deploy template, which is what they were talking about down here. Some volumes. Name of the AWX. Okay, so I think what I need values.yaml. If under AWX, I want you to create spec admin user admin. Yeah, that's fine, I think. That's all it says. I guess we'll just see what this does, because it... Yeah, oh, I need to armchar temp. Don't need that anymore. Because I think that should be it. Feature add the AWX operator. And let's see how that does. So, which means I should have something popping up here in a minute. Sync this. Just show up like right around here. Yeah, there it is. AWX production. We'll see, so it creates an AWX, and it needs to pull in. There's the role binding, but where's the custom resource? Yeah, so why isn't it? Does it not apply the custom resource definitions? It doesn't, does it? You've got to be kidding me. So then you can't just do that because it won't. That should be trying to create it in the AWX namespace, right? Yeah, AWX namespace. So then what's the point? Yeah, I get that, but there was no support this time for upgrading or deleting using Helm. So you just have to apply that manually. Great, okay. Cool. That's incredibly dumb. You absolutely can update CRDs with Helm. They're just resources like anything else. That's so dumb. Of course not. So wait, does this link not even work? You have got to be kidding me. So where the hell did this thing go? 2.19.1 is in fact the latest version. So where are the custom resource definitions? Config/CRD. I guess I'm doing this. Server side -K. Eval symlink failure. What the hell are you talking about? Does it need to be without HTTPS? What are you talking about? kubectl apply eval symlink failure? So that is right. Okay. Ref equals 2.19.1. Alright, so there's the CRDs applied, finally. So now I should be able to resync this. And it'll be fine. Yeah, there it goes. So now the operator's going to start up. Oh, God. Flashbang. Yeah, that's the staging one. So that one's fine to, like... Now we can just reboot. That one I don't care. See, make sure this is all up and going. Let's try and... Right, so it's working on getting that up. So then it says once this is done... There's the AWX Postgres that's going to run. And there should be something called AWS something something blah 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 up in a second. So I'll let that do its thing for a minute. I think we got the ownership doing quite nicely. Once that's up, I can start worrying about it. So it was able to create a PVC that should be backed by Longhorn. Yep. Awesome. Then this just needs to come on up. It'll be healthy. Yeah. Why is it in crash loop? Cannot create directory. What do you mean permission denied? How's that possible? You own the PVC. How? How? Hold on. There's other things that use this. Did I have to do anything to them? Don't think so. I think I just set them up. So why can't you? And using a host back. It's not a host path, like Longhorn. Be accessible by the user in the Postgres pod. To initialize the directory of the crash configured with the... Here, the following setting which we use in a init container to set the permissions in the Postgres volume. Okay. So let's go back to that Helm chart. The custom volume set is used when you want to store your databases and project files on the cluster's node. Since their backends are host path, the size specified are just like a label. There's no actual capacity limitation. Yeah, but I'm not doing that. Host, unset, all these different things. So that's on the spec of the AWX then. God. AWX operator. Don't get it. I don't get where that spec is. Is that just under the... Can I have a reference on this thing? Alright. Fuck this. CRD. What's it called? Like Postgres. Is that just under the spec? I guess. Alright. Yeah. It's enabled. Spec. So that should now add PSQL init container. So that should now do another sync here. Should sync the AWX to have an init container, which means that this should now have an init container. Somewhere. somewhere, at some point, it should make... Yeah, Postgres data volume in it, true. So do I need to delete this? And let it resolve it? Info cache miss. Maybe this needs a restart. Yeah, so it should be figuring itself out here in a second. Okay. Can we start resolving these resources for me? Okay, so that seems to be doing something. There it goes. So now this should have an init container. There's the init container. Great. We'll just do the correct owning. So that should allow that to come up. And then we can figure out... Yeah, there we go. So now it should say, like, yep, ready to go. Cool. Server started. So now what? Gonna create the config map, gonna create a couple more things, role bindings, all that good stuff. And it's gonna create, alright, a task and a web. So let's see, so it's created some services. So the service is here. Let's actually look at the networking end. Where's the networking tree? Pods. That should be the networking side, right? Yeah, network. Is the web service. And then I can create an ingress into this service once it's up. And it can figure itself out. There's the web, and the task engine's still running. So while we're waiting, let's see, can I... 8052. Interesting. 8052. Ah, okay. So it's waiting on the task one to finish. Interesting. I may have to go do that in a little bit. Really strange that, like, some of these nodes, yeah, my Postgres is taking up a lot of data. That I'm aware of. I should actually upgrade all these to 30. Expand it to 30 gigs. And actually, it's the Godify Postgres that's taking up a lot. I should honestly just expand all the Postgres nodes that I have right now to 30, just because they will fill up. All those should be good. It is taking its sweet time trying to get all these migrations done. Jesus. Could not be any slower. How long are these things? Yeah, so you can see like the pirate ship Postgres takes up a lot of data. Actually should investigate why. That'd be a little fun little tangent while we're doing this. 5, 4, 3, 2. And not there. Let's see. Don't worry about that. I want to look at this. Let's create a new connection to Postgres. All right. Oh, right, because it needs to be the right. Jesus, it's a long password. All right. There's a fully insulated thing, and there's no sensitive data on it, so I'm not terribly concerned. Why? I see. Hmm. Alright, well, I will deal with that at some point, but cool. So what I want now is how do I get here while I'm doing this? Just... My God. Did that finally finish? Okay, thank God that's done. So that should come up in a minute then. And I will deal with that in a moment. Right now I want to see get Postgres size like analysis, like what's taking up room. It's not? It is not. Alright, cool. Then I will deal with that at a later date. This looks like it is all up and running. Hey, what's the default username and password? Ah, it's in the password, I see. My god, you guys got long passwords. Cool. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So OIDC settings, user interface settings. There's one host, which is localhost. So inventory. I want to be able to manage this thing. So let's start messing with this stuff. So this is the operator. So all this is going to get stored in the database. Is there a way for me to set this up without the need? Can I say like organic or like inventory? So I can't set any of this stuff up. I guess I can worry about the recovery at a later date, but I really would have preferred if like they're gonna go through this whole thing of like making CRDs, then man, at least let me do at least let me make some of this stuff. Look at this. Let's call this Homelab as an organization. That's my Homelab. So what's an execution environment? Oh, it's just the image that it'll run on. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. That makes sense. Okay, instance groups. Yeah, I'm gonna need a bit more documentation on this. Yeah, I'd really like a user guide. Do you have one of those? I don't want a contribution guide. I want like I want a user guide. Ansible AWX user guide. Yeah, that's the same thing. Is there really no user guide? Somebody else had to make a user guide. So let's see. Let's try this. So let's add smart inventory, maybe? I'm search to find a host filter. Instance groups. So there's, what's an instance group? Like, I don't know what these things are. Like inventories, credentials. Okay, well let's do that then, yeah. So credential types, let's add. Does any of this mean? Thanks. Seriously, nobody's made a guide for this? Like, there's just nothing? So create a project. Let's make a new project called, like, server... node maintenance. Is that how you spell maintenance? That is, in fact, how you spell maintenance. All right, so node maintenance contains. Okay, there we go. It's gonna be in Git. Content signing. Right. Okay. So this is where I can go in and do things like. I can do make dir Ansible and make another one called node maintenance. Again, I can't spell. And then we'll do an Ansible Hello World playbook. Just so I make sure I can run some shit. Isn't there just like an Ansible ping? So I want to pull in this one. For SSH. Source control branch is going to be the main branch, right? Yeah, main branch. Ref spec. Yeah, that's fine. Source control credentials. I don't think I need that. Clean. Remove any wrong. Yes, always do that. Update revision. Each time a job runs using the project. Yes. Cache timeout. Is this in seconds? 3600 should be an hour. Can I do subdirectory? Could not read from remote repository. It's not private to clone. I don't think it is. It's a public repo, you can just clone it. Okay. Okay, so that is there. Do I need to make a new repository? I might have to make a new repository, honestly. Let me delete this project. So let me go ahead and do that. And we'll make a quick little project. Homelab, Ansible, playbooks. So hold on, what's manual? Yeah, base path, that's not what I'm looking for. I want it in Git. So actually, I also want to go and set up credentials then. Yeah, I'm the admin. Gotcha. I'll edit that later. Oh, that's what the task means. It's how many of these task pods do I want running? Okay, so instance groups for... It's a control node? What does that mean? Oh, that's what runs the control jobs. Clean out activity stream. So if I launch this management job, yeah, so that's what it's doing. Which is an instance group. So I'm not sure what's the difference between an instance group and a container group. AWX instance groups. Provides the ability to group instances in a clustered environment. Additionally, policy dictates how these work. So what's the difference between that and a container group? So I get that. I'm just not sure what a container group is. 5. Not sure what a container group is. Container group. Which container groups which allow you to execute jobs in the controller regardless of whether the container installed as a standalone or virtual environment or in a container. Container groups act as a pool of resources within a virtual environment. You can create instance groups to point to an OpenShift container where job environments are then provisioned on demand as a pod that exists only for the duration of the playbook. Ephemeral execution versus instanced execution. Got it. So the control plane has an instance, but the other jobs have that. So in that case, yeah, I'll take 0 and 0 on that. So that means I don't have to write, this is just for the control plane. So under projects, let me finish making this. So when it comes to, so it looks like this is, the control center is effectively what I'm looking for. Looking for like projects, AWX projects. How do they recommend structuring them? Okay. So let me try doing this then. We'll do another, which we'll call node maintenance again. Then ping.yaml. And we'll say name. This is the ping all K8s nodes. Host all. Tasks name ping. Git init. Oh, I have to do that. I gotta do that in the other thing. So let's go to GitHub now and create a new repo real quick. So it's going to be me, call it public, we'll call it Homelab, Ansible playbooks, public, don't do any of that stuff. Don't assign it to any of that, don't do a template, create. Why is it being so choppy? Strange. It seems fine. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Why? Okay, what the hell's happening? Why is the music being all weird? What the fuck is taking up 99% of my CPU? Was that it? Holy shit. Yeah, I think VS Code just trying to analyze that database, it just was killing it. Cool. I guess I won't do that again. On we go, I guess. That's funny. Okay. Anyway. You... Right. There it goes. Okay. Now I should be able to copy this over to AWX. And we're going to change the things. Oh, it's not. Because it's not connected anymore. Okay. You know, it is still here. There it goes. That took forever. Please tell me this thing is not this bad all the time. My god, this thing is slow. Just bring up the edit form. All this is going. Come on. How is this that hard? executed on that. Like, it should be able to clone, no problem. Why? Can I generate an SSH key? Alright, so let's delete this one. Which job templates? It's a... Why is it... You know what? I can't handle this. I gotta get the ingress for this thing up and running. Was there a way here to just say, like, turn it on or no? Alright, let's get this set up for different things. Mesh ingress. Alright, let's back up and just go back to AWX operator ingress. I see, so that's what it wants me to do. Alright, I guess. Let's go to yoink and go back to the first one. Remove that. We'll call this AWX. Call that infrastructure description AWX dashboard. Web secure, let's encrypt, and we'll call this Ansible. Is there anything else? Alright, I need to have labels on it. I'm hoping there is a labels. There is not. Of course not. Why would there be a labels? Okay. I kind of want to just make the ingress myself. That feels like it's going to be a lot easier. Like, just don't worry about it. I got it. You don't worry about a thing. Ah, fuck. Yoink. Forgot to add it. Alright, this is going to be called AWX UI. Call it AWX. Delete this for now. On private traffic, so it's not publicly accessible. Make sure I know what service I'm targeting. So yeah, so I am targeting the service AWX service on port 80. And let me just double check dashboard icons. AWX does in fact have a logo. Awesome. Son of a bitch. Why? Alright, fine. There we go. So then the icon is AWX as well. Let me make sure that's actually the right thing. Yeah, that's AWX. Cool. So that should now give me an AWX URL I can use. And I will go ahead and push that up. Add AWX ingress. And that should basically take care of everything. It'll create an ingress that is a private ingress. Although that DNS record has to exist first. So it may take a minute. Really? There's my BusyBox shell. ns lookup awx.greatandword.com. doesn't know it yet. Let's take a look at the external private DNS. There it goes. Now it's got it. Hasn't quite trickled down yet, but in theory, which I believe is here. Looking at AdGuard DNS settings. So yeah, its upstream is that one. So if I clear the cache really quick. There it goes. So now within my house, I should be able to get there. Cool. I gotta go find that god awful secret again. Yeah, this will get changed in a minute anyways, and it's not like it's exposed to the internet, so... Okay. So now I'm under an actual domain. And just to double check... I gotta respond to something. Turn off my Wi-Fi. I cannot, in fact, get to awx.greatandwar.com. That is correct, because that DNS address does not exist publicly. So, let's pull some of this down. So, AWX credential types. What the hell does that mean? How do I make a credential? I don't see anything for credentials. Organization Homelabs. Oh, there it is, credentials. So that's a credential for a demo machine. So let's delete this one. So let's add a... Why can't they just add an SSH key? Hold on. Why do I need to add its private key? Enable Tower to invoke Ansible on hosts under your management. Just like Ansible on the command line, you can specify the SSH username, optionally provide a password and SSH key, a key password, or have Tower prompt the user at the time. Okay. But why do you need the private key? Why can't you just... Like, I don't get that. The actual password to be used for stored encrypted in the tower database, blah, 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 blah. But what if I don't want to use a password and I want to use just the SSH key? I don't want you to authenticate. Okay, hold on. Ansible, AWX, SSH, auth. SSH key auth. Create inventory AWS. Edit it. Select the sources tab and create a source. Select source from project. Yeah. Hmm. Let's just do like staging for now. So this is like K8S staging node 0. We'll do K. I'll do like based on its actual thing. That is S staging K3S node 0. Can create machine credentials to run playbooks after you distribute the SSH key pair. You go to the tower and open the credentials tab and press new credential. So this is after you distribute the public key. Okay. So let me do this then over here. I'll do this off SSH key gen. Let me just make a random key. This one is going to be in Antonio. This is going to be like the K8S staging nodes. They're going to share this key. Staging K8S nodes. All right. What was the... What was it called? It's like Grim, that's what it was. WL copy, that's what it was. And I'm gonna guess I want to do this over here, given that it is a private key. Yep. So I'll make this belong to the Homelab organization. It's a machine credential. Using sudo. And I believe I gave these things. Yeah, they do not have passwordless sudo, so that's one of the things. Although I think I did do that for the other ones, if I remember right. Yeah. So I just got to I do need to do that. That is one of the setup tasks. Yeah, that one. Just for sanity's sake, because it makes Ansible run a lot nicer. Okay. Alright, so now I should be able to do this again. That's fine. Okay, great. So that one's fine. The private key is there. I don't need any passwords. I no escalations, no nothing. Just going to use that key to log in. Save. Right, so now, back to credentials. Let's add a... It shouldn't need any of this, though. It's public. I mean, if it's that big a deal, let me just switch to HTTPS then. There we go. Now we're good. So I can take ping.yaml. Okay, now let's try inventories. So, or hosts, I guess. So AWX inventory. Was defined by a stored search. So if I add an inventory, if you have a custom dynamic inventory or a cloud provider, you can do that. So I guess I do need to add hosts first. So like this is going to be... That's going to be stg-k3s-node 0. And I need to make the inventory first. So I had an inventory called K8s staging K8s nodes. It's in the Homelab. It's going to be on the default storage system. Let's save that. So I can add a host. Called staging K3s node 0. Oh, it says I can manage this in Git, can't I? Maybe I don't want to do that. Then let's swap over. Oh no, I am in playbooks. So then disconnect from that. So we'll actually do this and we'll call this just Homelab playbooks in Git. So I need to make that are currently available. Git. Need to use inventory source for importing inventory from project, which you stored in Git. So, Ansible inventory file. So let's start building the inventory. Inventory.yaml. So we're going to call this one kdes-staging hosts 10.0.0.20 kdes-prod and then we'll call that a add kdes inventory. Now in the projects, I can resync it real quick. Is that not a thing anymore? What's that for? It's not that cryptic. Yeah, I did just have the gain turned up really loud. Like, I had this turned up to 100%, so every word just peaked it. And now I'm trying to figure this shit out. It is very weird. Okay, so that's just waiting on that. I feel like I definitely can make this faster, but I don't know that I care. By the way, this is one of the, like, worst documented things ever. It's really bad. Yeah, I'm definitely making an instance group. This is... Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. It's not that bad. You'll get used to it really fast. Listen, I will never personally purchase a MacBook, but I do really appreciate them as work laptops. They're kind of nice. We'll call this like node just Homelab, I guess. Policy instance percentage 100. Lack of right click. You can honestly, you can turn that on in a setting. I'll be real with you. You can turn it on in a setting. Why won't you create an instance? Yeah, there's like it's like Mac OS right click. So yeah, there's you have to really. Yeah, it's in like this mouse settings. It's like not on by default, but you can turn on like secondary click. It's really stupid that it's not on by default, but whatever. Why can't I? It's very annoying, but did the job at least finish? Loading 2 groups and 2 hosts. What? Hold on. Why is that imported as one thing? More or less. You'll, depending on the job, you'll spend more or less most of your time in a terminal anyway, so... So how did you... You are just... Well, maybe it's because I have to do this. I think I have to do that. so that it's considered like that. There are variables you can do, right? Like, yeah, you can do facts like that. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. I want K8S. Where's my naming convention? K8S staging node 0. And I want an Ansible host of 10.0.0.20. So K8S node 0 is an Ansible host of 10.0.0.30. And all the way down. Nice. So it really does not take that long to do. Just like pick up all the collectibles, beat the game on Nightmare, and you're pretty much there. And then you have to do like a handful of specific things. Yep, one was in the Sansi, yep. Rossian lower zone. Yeah, I don't know. I had one that was like really weird. I had one that was like in not in Longlie, but so the town that Aaron's from that I feel really terrible about remembering names of, but yeah, so that should. I had one there, and then I had two in the Sansi, I think. Fix proper inventory appease. Longport, thank you. It's close. Okay, so now I should be able to go to inventories, Kada staging, sources, resync, and it's going to take it 1,000,000 years to boot up this container again. Oh, it's actually on the same pod, so it's fine. Now it should come out as two groups and two hosts. No, it's not two hosts. It's multiple hosts. It's also not... Okay, that's a really terrible system. Inventories this, sources. A regex expression, like... Our previously present will be overwritten. Yeah. Like, once it actually runs it, they can run really fast. So, I mean, I don't mind it, but I mean... That is not correct. So how am I supposed to write these things if not like that? Okay, I am... That's just... I prefer YAML just because I like this formatting better, but... It doesn't seem to actually understand how to parse any of this shit. Like, what the hell is this? Like, okay, so I can at least do this. I can change the name of this inventory to just K8S nodes. And they should run on default by default. So then in, like, that's nothing. I don't understand. It knows it's in this group, which is interesting, but it promotes it as one host. What the hell is that? It's also not reading the... It's not reading anything correctly. Like, it's just straight up not working. Okay, so let's do this then. Let's remove this source. All the hosts are gone, which means that the groups should also be gone. So what happens if I just do K8S staging, or K8S staging node 0, and I call Ansible host 10.0.0.20. Put it in the K8S nodes, and I actually will separate the inventories now if I'm doing this. So this will be K8S staging. Add ones. K8S staging node 0. Put it in staging. Ansible host 10.0.0.20. Save. Add a job template called ping. Node maintenance.ping. In this one, execution environment, run it on that one. Run it on the K8S staging inventory. And sure. Launch. All this should do is ping it. Job failed and has no output. Great, why? Unreachable. Okay, so at least that's trying. But I do know what to do for that, because I forgot I never actually SSH copy ID. I forget how this thing works. It's like Ansible at that. How does this command work again? I just need the syntax. Just show me the fucking syntax. Right. -I. It's the public key. Then let's double check. Right, because it's trying to go in as root, which I don't want it to do. Ansible inventory host name. It's like Ansible host or something like that. It's like Ansible user, there it is. So I should be able to say Ansible user is Ansible. Go back to this. Launch it. And that should now ping my staging box. You have an output. Okay. Is it not using the credentials? Is that the problem? Oh, yeah, I never added the KDS staging node's credentials. So now it should work. Right? Right? Oh, thank God. Okay. So that's incredibly annoying, but I think I at least got something. And I need to grab a little stack. I'll be right back. Okay. So that is progress. I don't like that I have to manage it all in the system, but that is at least progress. So now the question is, why won't it do that from an inventory file? I at least know. You know what? Maybe it just doesn't like the YAML version. So let's call this KDS staging. We'll call this KDS staging node 0, where Ansible host is 10.0.0.20. Ansible user is Ansible. KDS prod. Ansible user is Ansible. And we have 31, 32, node 1, node 2. Let's see if switching it over to that fix INI inventory syntax. Okay. So now under projects, so I guess templates are things where I can take a playbook and apply it to an inventory based on a project, which is an interesting way of doing it. So I can also do this where this is ping all nodes in inventory. So now when I launch it, it'll ask me what I want to do. Okay, that's kind of nice. So then Get this synced. And go to called K8S nodes. And add a source from a project, inventory.ini, which is going to be called playbook source. Can I write custom plugins for this, or is it just interesting? See how this goes. Maybe this will run better now that I actually found the INI file. Okay. That is a good sign. That all came in correctly. Awesome. So that can be deleted. Now I can go to my one. Say yes. So this, now I can actually delete the other inventory. They're all in this inventory. But I should be able to show what groups they're attached to as well. There's prod and staging. So in templates, number of parallel processes while using it. So now I should be able to look at. So this won't run on. So actually, I think I do want to separate my production and staging inventories. So it doesn't look like I can run it on just. I can't modify the group at runtime. Although, it means I should say run it on the K8S nodes and only run it on K8S staging. So that should just run it on the staging one if I read that correctly. Which I did. So I think that's fine. I do kind of wish I could just give drop-down options, but I'll take it for now. So, I add another machine credential. Called prod nodes. Do I want to make this that complicated on myself? think so. And then I got to do the thing over here. I do another one called KDS prod. Paste that in the private key section. All right. Yeah, that is actually going to be kind of interesting. So I think I actually do need to do limit it to KDS staging. Ping staging nodes. And then edit this to be ping production nodes using all the same thing, just KDS prod, and it'll use the prod credentials. So now what I need to do, SSH copy ID KDS prod.pub to Ansible at 30 31 32. So now, when I launch this, it should ping. Alright, I can also say you don't have to prompt that at launch, just use the KDS nodes inventory. So when I launch this, it should ping all of the production nodes and give me back a nice thumbs up. Let's go. It works. Cool. Now I can write a playbook that runs on everything. And that'll work. So now what? Then I can take it. And have it like literally run every minute if I wanted to. Got it. Then what about Okay. So now let's create a really quick one. Which we will call to be just like upgrade packages. So then this one needs to be an APT Ansible. This is upgrade all system packages. So we'll do this as an update. Update apt cache. Ansible.built-in.apt update cache. Yes. Upgrade system packages. Isn't that like an upgrade? Check for required reboot. Ow. Upgrade APT packages. Name, check if required. That path bar run required. Register reboot required file. Just make sure I have all this right. Name reboot if required. So what if I want Ansible only run on one host at a time? Limits the number of workers for a particular task can be set at the block level. What if I want Ansible wait for each host to reboot? Ansible reboot one host, reboot one by one. This only works per play, not per host, but you can have plays run against one host at a time by limiting the batch size. Alright, fine. Alright, fine. I'll only do it in serial 1, because each one is a K8S host, so it needs to wait. I may also need to wait for a couple other things before it goes. I mean, that'll work. It'll be fine. Probably. Wait for KDS deployment. KDS condition. I do this, and then wait for all nodes to be ready. Shell. kubectl get node. kubectl wait for condition equals ready nodes. Resource prep, but no name was specified. All of them. kubectl wait for all nodes to be ready. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Then it will continue. Add system upgrade playbook. Alright, well, there's a very good chance that this will take down my entire system, but unfortunately I don't have Kubernetes set up on my staging environment, so I just kind of have to wing it. Add a new job template called upgrade production node packages based on the K8S nodes. Home playbook. Playbook is going to be upgrade packages using the prod nodes credentials. It's going to be limited to K8S production. Alright, well, let's see if this works. In theory, each of these will go down once and then pop back up. Let's find out, shall we? How did it fail already? Specified inventory host pattern and or limit leaves us with no host to target. What does that mean? Oh, KS Prod. Not KS Production is what I called it. Huh. Again? Could not resolve module Ansible built in. Oh, I misspelled built in. Built in. I can spell. UI on yeah, built in. Alright, we'll sync that project real quick. Don't worry about that. Now let's run upgrade production node packages. Let's see if they'll do it this time. So it basically should be running it on one node at a time. Upgrade all the APT packages. And then reboot if necessary. So node 0 will go down first. It's definitely going to interrupt the services a little bit, because not all of them can run multiple instances, but should be fine. Just watch this for a minute. Son of a bitch. Why? To lock for... Oh, it doesn't have... I didn't tell it to... Ansible... become... Is that what it is? Yeah, become... Yeah, I do need to put that on it. Alright. I think it's gonna be on, like, this one. And this one, probably. Fix. Added, become. Alright. One more time. Will you do it now, son? Come on, do the thing. Show me it. You can do it. I actually think the other thing I can do, I can look at the execution environment. I should be able to follow this like really closely. Yeah, because there's automation job. That's it running the thing. Nice. So in a few seconds, that should start taking node 0 down. Come on, do the thing. Come on. Wait, why did it start? Oh, I guess it just picks a random node to start with. Come on. That's kind of nice that I can just literally open the host details and it tells me everything about it there. Not bad. Come on. It's gonna take you a minute, I know, but you can do it. Like, as soon as one of these works, I'll feel happy and I can be done for the night. I just need to see it work once. And then I'll be okay. I can return to my Oh, something's happening. Okay, so it did work. It did all of its updates. Cool, cool, cool. So it's doing its restart, which means node 1 should go down any minute now. Yeah, it does require it to reboot, so it's going to reboot now. Apparently going to take it out. There it goes, not ready. So node 1 goes down. And please come back up and work super nicely. Because the reboot will wait until it comes up, and then the next task should wait until that goes ready again, and then start doing the other stuff. Ideally. We'll see how ideal this gets. What was I doing? God damn it. Every time. I really gotta figure out why it can't figure out that I'm streaming anymore. It's very annoying. This is actually kind of nice. Like, I can just say, like, yeah, that's the output from the YAML, or the JSON output, I guess. So that should come back up in a second. Hmm. And then I should also be able to see, like, if I SSH to that one, which is 31. Like, it's still rebooting. They do take a long ass time to reboot. Which is, like, really my only real complaint with them. Otherwise, these things are fucking awesome. Come on. I just need to see this do it once and actually wait for the next one, and we are golden. Then I can trust this thing to go in the background and do this like once a week at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh. What's going on now? Why is it saying failed? Ah. Well. Well, that would do it. Yeah, that would create problems now, wouldn't it? I hadn't considered that this is running on the same infrastructure. That could potentially cause some problems now, couldn't it? What was on this node? Ah, my DNS server. That, you know what? That would do it. Yep. That would in fact do it. Huh. Yeah, I didn't really think that part through, did I? Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, so let's go clear that cache again. And I will have to rethink how I'm doing this. Because that did in fact appear to fuck itself over. Yeah. Huh. Well, that, yeah, I'm gonna have to probably not do the reboot part then. Because that might give me some issues. So I'll figure that out. And, we'll do that next time. uh, yeah, I probably should have thought that there might be a problem of rebooting the node that this thing is running on, given the fact that it's only one container. And when you kill the node that it's on, it's gonna have problems. Huh. Well, I will figure that part out later. Maybe I'll stream about another time. Man, that's all I wanted to get done tonight, though. This is set up and working. I'll tinker with it later. Oy. Good night.